welcome to another Bojoul video. I'm so grateful that you could join us. And yeah, this is Bojoul channel, the home of self-care and wellness and every single thing that will help you to become the higher version and better version of yourself every day. I love that because guess what? I am reminded that we are always evolving as humans. That's what we do. We evolve. So it's never a destination. There's a journey that we all are embarking on. And I'm just grateful to be here to be able to share, share things and open your eyes maybe to things or confirm some of those intuitions that you already have had in terms of your self-care. Today, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit, still on self-care. Everything we do is about self-care. But I'm going to shift gears just a bit, and I'm going to talk about hair care. I am a trained and licensed cosmetologist. I've been licensed and trained since 1992. I actually got my license when I was 17 years old, and I literally been in a salon ever since. At some point, somehow, I've always been in somebody's salon. So I have a lot to share in terms of your hair, stylist, different techniques and trends that are out, healthy hair, things that are not so healthy for your hair. So today I just want to take a moment and I want to talk about helping you to find a great stylist. Because finding a great stylist is so important. It is akin to finding a great doctor or a great dentist, a great GYN, a great construction person, a great mechanic. These are people that are key players in our life to help us to become better, to look better, to feel better. A stylist is not someone who just is there to make you look better, right? And I understand those things are important. Yes, you want a stylist that's going to slay. I get it. But it's a lot of other things I want you to consider when choosing a stylist. And especially the service that you choose to engage in with that stylist. One of the things I want to share, I want to lay the foundation for this whole segment about finding a stylist. One thing, I'm going to lay down some key factors because this person, and this is what I learned years ago when I was just in beauty school. Your hairstylist is going to be close up and personal on you, just like a doctor would. We are touching you. We are putting our hands on you, on your head, ears, head. We are touching you. And anybody in your life that's touching you, period, just make sure that you've done your research and that you understand what is happening, right? First of all, when you're looking for a stylist, one of the most important things to do is to understand your texture of hair, what it is that you want, and if this stylist is even familiar with your texture. You cannot go to a stylist who they specialize in softer textures or textures that has nothing to do with your hair, right? And then when you are in their chair or when you have gone to them for a service or you're going to them for a service, I see a lot of people get upset because they're like, oh, they don't know how to do what I asked them to do. But a lot of times they're just not familiar with your texture. They do what they do. And it is your job to do the due diligence to research and find stylists who are familiar with your hair texture or at least familiar with the service that you are requesting or you are desiring. It is important. Do the research. I know it sounds technical and all of these things like that, but you are going to be sitting under this person. We breathing on you. We are in your personal space. Let's just start there. And now you have this head of hair that you are familiar with. So you're introducing this to someone and you doing research and gathering your information. And nowadays it's so much easier to figure out what that stylist is into. You can look at Google reviews, right? You can look at their website and just see what they're into. You can see what products they use. You can follow them on social media just to see what they're doing. A lot of salons, they post on social media. From the post alone, you can see what they're into. A lot of salons have different ways that you can connect with them. Oftentimes, people have come into our salon and they're like, oh, we saw the reviews. So from the reviews, people are talking about what that stylist has done. How good it is, how bad it is, what they were disappointed with, what they was happy with. But from there, you can get a good idea of if this person knows how to deal with my texture. And that's it. I'm just talking, all I said was texture. There are so many other nuances. Okay, you may have the right texture, but maybe you have a scalp issue. Maybe you have this flaky scalp. Maybe you have like these over sebaceous glands that's like super oily. You know your hair. And even if you don't know your hair, you know how your hair functions. Finding a stylist who's knowledgeable, or who not only just knowledgeable, but who stays informed in the beauty industry in terms of the different techniques and the different tools that you have that can deal with your issue. How would you feel if you were going to a doctor and that doctor, right, was still using old school methodologies to treat you? You go in there with let's say a cold or a fever, and they want to burn some liniment or something they used to do back in yesteryear. That I'm not saying that wasn't effective, but there's so much more effective ways to treat what you're dealing with. And the only way that they would know that if they stay abreast and they stay up on what's trending and what's going on, going to trade shows. And it is not a year that goes by that myself and my team, we are not expanding our knowledge in terms of cosmetology. It's not going to happen. I have literally been doing this for I've been licensed for 31 years. Wow. Wow. Okay. But I've literally been styling someone's hair since I was maybe about 14. It's a braid kids' hair. Like, I've always been in that realm some way, somehow. But officially, like on the radar, I would say since I was 17 years old. I was doing people from my school. I was doing my mom's friends. And then when I started working in the salon, it just went to a whole nother level. And it's, as in any field, it is a learning process, and you keep growing and you keep growing. But my point is, you want to find a stylist who is evolving as well, who wants to grow. You want a stylist that wants to grow and that is interested in meeting your needs. Your texture is so relevant. It is relevant. It is relevant. Doing research. Research the salon. Research the stylist that you want to go to, that you're interested in. Forget about you seeing a style that look good. I understand that is important, but guess what? That is not the most important thing. Maybe they can do that style, right? But what about if your hair starts breaking or shedding because you're under some type of stress, or maybe you've taken medication, or maybe your hair is going through something? Is that stylist knowledgeable enough to know what to do, what to recommend to you, what to advise you to do in the meantime? Is she going to make a strategic plan for you to get your hair back in order? It is important. And I understand it's just, oh, I want this, I see this, I want this. Can your hair even deal with it? Find a stylist that'll tell you no. Find a stylist that will tell you no sometimes. You cannot get that. Your texture will not take that. This is not going to be healthy for your hair. Get a stylist that's interested in your hair, that is interested in giving you the best that you need, the same way you would do a doctor. And all of this is just under gathering the information in order to find a stylist. You can look at their before and the after pictures. You can look at that. That's so easy to find nowadays. They got to have a website. If they don't have a website, I'm concerned already. What's going on? We have iPhones and Android phones, and it's easy to take pictures and post them somewhere. Somewhere, IG page, a Facebook, TikTok, somewhere. Something's happening. Doesn't have to be the most elaborate page, but from those pictures, you get an idea. I remember back in the day when I first started, in order to show somebody what you could do, we used to take little pictures with like Polaroid cameras. You know the Polaroid cameras, the cameras that you take a picture and the picture comes out the bottom of the camera. And we would get like a photo album, and we would put the pictures in the photo album. Listen, there's always a way. There's always a way. We did it old school. But now it's so much easier. So if you're going to a stylist and they don't have a website for you to view their work, or what happened? What? That to me, that's very telling. And I want to say this too. I want to preface this conversation with this also. In gathering information, just because a person can do a style doesn't make them a stylist, an informed stylist. You can do a style, but you don't really understand about hair care. You don't really understand how to keep that hair healthy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like so many nuances, just like a mechanic. Maybe somebody know how to fix your brakes. Maybe they learned from their father. They know how to fix a brake. But maybe the brake line is connected to something else and they have no idea what that is. It's like one thing does not qualify you for a total field of study. It does not. And when you're doing your research and you're gathering your information, that is so important. Gather information. Sometimes, simply, just call the salon. Have a conversation with whoever will be doing your hair and ask them a short battery of questions. I'm not saying to call them and barrage them with a whole line of questioning, because if that's the case, you need to do a consultation. And that's a whole nother video, but I'm gonna put that. But paying someone for a consultation will save you hundreds of dollars. It will save you frustration, time, and you allow your stylist to get prepared for whatever it is that you're wanting or you're desiring. Because sometimes it's not just walking in a salon and getting something. Sometimes a stylist may have to prepare. Maybe it's something special you need for your hair. Maybe it's a whole lot of things that may happen. So finding a stylist that you can trust requires researching. Research. And it doesn't have to be some type of arduous task. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but research. So, 1, look for a salon or stylist that's familiar with your texture. That's 1. Number 2, look online. Look at their online presence. What are they currently doing? What are their current results? You can look at reviews. You can see. And just because a stylist have 1 or 2 bad reviews does not make them a bad stylist either. I want to say that. Because if you are in any type of field of study, you know that you cannot make everybody happy with every single thing that you do. But the majority of people are going to pretty much praise you and be happy with your work. You're always going to have the outliers. That's, oh, I wasn't happy, something happened, da-da-da-da. And if you know people, you know that some people, no matter what you do, you will not ever make them happy. You just will not. I had to learn that. Years and years and years I learned. I don't care if I crawled around, jumped on the chandelier, twirled around, and did a split and came back up. It's not going to work. My point to you is that it doesn't take a lot to see what a stylist is into. Just look at their online presence. And again, if they don't have an online presence, that is a red flag. Why you do not have an online presence? Something. You don't have a Flickr account that you just post your pictures to. You don't have pictures in your iPhone that you could just send create like a collage. It's easy now. And if a person is really into what they're doing, they will take the time to gather like a portfolio of some sort to allow people to see what they're doing if they really want to be in that field. That's another situation. That's another thing. The reason that if a person doesn't have a site or a person doesn't have an online presence, the reason why that's so telling is because when you're passionate about something, you are going to take the time and you're going to gather information that's needed for you to grow. You're going to gather everything together. You're going to be strategic about it. Listen, from the time I think maybe from the time I had to be about 13 years old, I eat, breathe, and sleep beauty, hair, color, cut, braid, anything. It mesmerized me. It really, really did. And I was always surrounded about it. So if you meet me, you're going to automatically, at some point, at some place, I'm going to talk about beauty or self-care. It's always going to be that way. Always. My self-care journey was something completely different, but hair care and self-care kind of goes together. Your hair is an extension of who you are. Your hair is an extension. If you're not taking care of your hair, you're not taking care of yourself. Your hair grows out of your scalp. It's an extension. It's hooked. It's connected to you. It's growing from your nerves and your blood cells and your nerve. Everything that's underneath in your blood, underneath your scalp, is coming from you. It's a part of you. It is you. So wanting to go into a whole nother level of self-care, you make sure that you're connecting with a stylist. Make sure you are doing your research. I'm going to do a series of videos on finding a good stylist because it cannot be covered in, 15 or 20 minute videos. It cannot be covered in 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm going to do like a little series so you can kind of understand like different little things that you can look for. But just for the sake of this video, let's just start here. Do research. And that research is going to be find out if that salon, stylist, wherever you're going, does your texture. Are they familiar with your texture? Certain textures, you cannot do the same thing to that you can do to other textures. It'll be done and finished. Number 2, look at their reviews. Look at their online presence. Where are they? What have they been doing? Is this what they're doing, or are you a one-off? Right? And look at their pictures and look at how they have presented themselves. Presentation is everything. Look at how they present themselves to the world. How have they done that? Do they have a website? How's that website looking? Is it up to date? What's the last review they have? Do they have an Instagram page? Do they have a Facebook page? What's going on with them? It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be a billion views, but you can get a good feel. And a lot of times when you're picking a choosing a stylist, you get a feel for them. It's a feel. It's like you do with people. Certain people you meet, you're like, nah, I'm good, nah. And then some people say, oh, I'm connecting with them, right? It's like right away you start connecting. And then that's when you are on track to finding a stylist that you can trust to take care of you within your hair. You need that. So you do your due diligence. You research and gather the information. That's your job. Do those three things. That right there will put you on a good, strong track to finding a stylist that you can trust. It is so important. Like I said, I'm gonna have a series of these type of videos. Just finding a stylist. Let's just do that first. How you jumping in a relationship with somebody without even doing research, right? Anyway, that is that for now. Just do those things. Find the stylist. Just start doing the research to find the stylist that's gonna be best suited for you. Thank you so much today for joining me for this video. I'm so grateful. If you have not already, subscribe, like, share this video. If you're hearing me on a podcast, download or follow our podcast and share it with your friends. We are here. We in here. We outside now. Now we outside. Now we online. This is something the Bojoul Body and Soul Hair Salon have been doing for many, many years. We've been in business for 25 years, and we've been doing this for years. So we outside now. Now we online. Our outside is online presence, and we're doing this. This is what we do. This is who we are. We are concerned about you. We see what's going on in this beauty industry, and we like, okay, the professionals need to step up and say something. I hope that more professionals come and create a portal where you could come and really get trusted information, because there's a lot of things out there that's going to leave you losing hair, receding, thinning out, and not being happy with your choices. So I'm grateful for this conversation. Thank you so much. And you please just remember that self-care is the best care.